Hello students, today we are going to start our new chapter of Business Studies class 11th and the chapter name is Private, Public and Global Enterprise. This is part 1 of that chapter. And students, the introduction is that in previous chapter we have studied the forms and types of private sector. But with the help of today's chapter, we will discuss the various types of public sector. The public sector mainly three types. The first one is departmental undertakings, the second one is public corporation, and the third one is government company. It means that public sector has been divided into three parts: departmental undertakings, public corporation, and government company. So one by one we are going to discuss all these three parts. So first of all, departmental undertakings. Departmental undertaking is one of the oldest form of public sector enterprise. This department is considered one of the department of government. It has no separate legal existence without government. It means that the function of departmental undertakings are fully controlled by the ministry or government department. For example, railway, defense, post and telegraph, broadcasting, telephone services all comes under the departmental undertakings. Main feature of departmental undertakings are: on departmental undertakings fully controlled by the minister and state and central government. They are part of government only. There is no separate legal existence without government. They are fully financed by the government. If they earn any revenue, that can be deposited in the treasury of the government. The staff of departmental undertakings are called civil servants and are recruited and compensated by the government. They are under direct control of the departmental head, who is accountable to the concerned ministry. They can be sued in the same manner like government company. Some merits of departmental undertakings are: formation. The formation of departmental undertakings are very easy because departmental undertakings comes under the government control. So there is no need of registration. Effective control. The control on departmental undertaking is fully on the hand of the government. Proper or optimum utilization of fund. Government utilize the fund of the departmental undertakings properly. Accountability. The departmental undertakings are directly accountable to the parliament. So there is a public accountability. Public revenue. The revenue of departmental undertakings is deposited in the treasury of the government. So it increases the government's revenue. It is one of the income of the government. Secrecy. Government maintained highly secret. They cannot disclose their ideas with anyone. So there can be highly secrecy. Some demerits of departmental undertakings are: first one, inflexibility. Departmental undertakings are fully controlled by the government and they have strict control by the parliament. So there is too much interference of the ministers and officers. So they cannot be change their methods or anything of the business without permission of the government. It means that inflexibility. Second one, lack of motivation. In departmental undertakings, there is no power on the hands of the department. All the powers in the hand of the government. And no person can get other compensation. They can get same compensation if they are doing their work better way or with the worst way. So there is lack of motivation. Lack of financial autonomy. The departmental undertakings cannot perform their work with freedom. For doing any financial matter, they will have to ask from the government. So there is lack of financial autonomy. Autonomy means freedom. Inefficient management. The departmental undertakings are managed by the government officers, and these officers are overburdened with the paperwork. They spend more of the time to answer the queries from the parliament. They can be transferred anytime. They have less sense of responsibility. It means that inefficient managements exist in the departmental undertakings. Red tapeism and bureaucracy. That is important point. Red tapeism and bureaucracy means due to many formalities, the decision is delayed. There is only paperwork are completed. In reality, the situation is different. The whole work is completed on papers only. That is red tapeism. Suitability. The departmental undertakings are suitable in the following cases. First one, where utmost secrecy is required, that means defense. The second one, where government control is necessary, it means broadcasting. The third one is where huge investment is involved, that means aircraft, iron and steel. And the fourth one is undertaking is a source of revenue, that is railway. It means that the departmental undertakings is suitable for defense, broadcasting, aircraft, iron and steel and railways. Here one case study is given that Indian Railway is a part of Railway Ministry. It is organized, financed and controlled by the Railway Ministry. The finance are allocated from the government treasury, and whatever revenue it earns is deposited to the government treasury only. It is treated as a part of government, and even the appointment, recruitment and selection of the employees is done in the same way as the civil servants. Name the type of public sector enterprises railway is concerned as. We already discussed that point. Railway comes under the heading departmental undertakings. And the second question is, what is the status of the employees working in the railway? The employees working in the railways are called civil servants. The next point is, how does it get its finance? It is given in the question. The finance are allocated from government treasury. And the last point, what does it do with its revenue? It is also given in the paragraph that whatever revenue it earns is deposited to the government treasury only. Now, the second type of public company is public corporation and statutory corporation. A statutory corporation is a body corporate formed by the special act of the parliament or by the central or state legislature. It is fully financed by the government. Its power, objects and limitation are also decided by the parliament. It means that the whole work are concerned with the regarding of parliament. Some examples of public corporations are Indian Airlines, Air India, State Bank of India, Life Insurance Corporation of India, Food Corporation of India, Oil and Natural Gas Corporation. Features of public corporation are, it is created by the Act of Parliament or central or state legislature. The powers, objectives and limitation of the public corporation are defined in the Act only. It operates under total control of central or state government. It is a separate legal entity. They can get incorporated automatically when Act is passed. It is managed by the board of directors who are nominated by the government. It means that the whole company directed by the board of directors, and who decide the board of directors? That is government. The public corporation has its own rules, not the government rules. They can recruit, remunerate its staff and employees. It means that public corporation selfly decide who will work work in our organization and what is their remuneration. That is not civil servants. It enjoys administrative autonomy. It means that they have freedom to operate their business. The main objective of public corporation is service. It is accountable to parliament or state legislature for its operation. They have to submit the annual report. The accounts of public corporation are generally audited by the comptroller and auditor general. Here some merits is given. First one is administrative autonomy. It means that they operate their business without any restrictions. Quick decision. They don't have to take prior decision with the government. They can take their decision on self, over self. So their decision is taking less time. Service motive. The main motive of public corporation is providing service to the public. Efficient staff. The staff of public corporation is very efficient and it can provide better facilities and attractive terms of services. Professional management. Board of directors consists of business experts because board of directors are very expert in their field, so they can hire the employee who is professional. So there is professional management. But in this some disadvantages also exist. First one is autonomy on paper only. In merits, we studied that public corporation is autonomy. It means they can operate their business on self, not with the government decision. But in reality, the autonomy is exist only papers, not in reality. In reality, they can work under the pressure of the government. Lack of initiative. Public corporation do not face any competition and are not operated for profit motive. So there is lack of initiative. Rigid structure. They cannot change their method of producing or method of operating the business. So they had rigid structure. Unfair practices. The government, board of directors or public corporation may indulge in unfair practices. It may charge unduly high price. Suitability. The public corporation is suitable for where undertakings require monopoly powers, where undertaking require special powers defined by the act or stated, and where undertakings require regular grants from the government, where the undertakings require appropriate combination of the public accountability. Here one case study is given. With enactment of LIC Act 1956, an autonomous body, Life Insurance Corporation of India, was formed. The Act defines its powers. Here the important point is the Act defines its power, duties and function. It has separate legal existence. It is fully owned by the government. It has independent financial policy, can raise funds by borrowing from public and government. However, it is not subject to any budgetary accounting or audit control like railways. Its annual report is presented in Parliament every year. So, name the type of public sector enterprise referred in the above case. With the help of above paragraph, we can easily find out that is public corporation or statutory corporation. Name the act under which it is formed. That is given in the paragraph LIC Act 1956. Name any other statutory corporation. We already discussed many examples. You can write any one of them. State two features of statutory corporation mentioned above. Here, two features is mentioned. The first one is separate legal entity and the second one is financial autonomy. Now, the last type of public corporation is government company. Government company means any company in which at least 51% paid up share capital is held by the central or state government or partly by the central or state government. For example, Steel Authority of India, State Trading Corporation. Hindustan Machine Tools. All are the examples of government companies. Features of government company. So first one is registration. The registration of government company is compulsory, and the registration comes under the Companies Act 2013. Ownership. The government company is wholly or partially owned by the government. The share of these companies is owned by the government with the name of the president. It means that government purchased the share of the government company with the name of the president. Management. The government company is managed by the board of directors. And who nominated the directors? The government nominated the directors. Separate legal entity. The government company has separate legal entity because it operates their business its own name, not with the name of any government. Ministerial control. But in government company, there is ministerial control existed. Financial autonomy. The government company can take financial decision over self. Efficient staff. The recruitment and remuneration of employees of government company is independent and decided by the government company itself, not by the government. It means that the company can hire their staff on self. Accountability. The government companies are accountable to the ministry or the department concerned, and its annual report is presented and discussed in the parliament. Some merits and advantage of government companies. Administrative autonomy. The government company operate their business according to ourselves, not with the decision of the government. Greater flexibility. They can change their method. They can hire their employees with any compensation. So there is greater flexibility. Efficient staff. In government company, the rules and regulations and recruitment and remuneration of employees, all the important things are conducted by the board of directors, who is professional. So they can hire professional staff. It means efficient staff exist in the government company. Collaboration. The government company can avail and accommodate managerial skill and technical skill, know how to expertise of the private enterprise by the conveniently collaborating with it. It means that in government company, the government company collaborate with private company also. Demerits and disadvantage of government company. First one is autonomy on paper only. In government company, the freedom is exist only on paper, not in reality. Political interference. In government company, political interference is also existed. Board packed with government representative. The board of director decided by the government, so they are the part of the government. They can work according to the government. Suitability. The government company is suitable from of the organization where government wants to control a company in the private sector without nationalization. The second one is where government wants to go for collaboration with the private enterprise. It means when government wants to collaborate with private company, that time they can choose government company. Where the project require government planning and funds, that time government company is very important method to conduct the business. Here one case study is given that Gas Authority of India is carrying on various projects of energy and powers. Majority of its shares are held by the government. Here the important point is majority of shares are held by the government. It is registered under Companies Act 2013 and enjoys all the characteristics of a company. The board of directors are appointed by the government. The board and shareholders are responsible for the efficient working of the company. The company prepares its annual reports and submit to appropriate authorities. Name the type of public sector enterprises referred in the above para. So with the help of above para, we understand that is government company. Second point is government buys share in whose name? That point we also discussed in the previous slide, that is President of India. Government company buys their shares in the name of the government. Where goes government company submit their report? The government company submit their report in the parliament, Lok Sabha as well as Rajya Sabha. With this point, over 3 parts of private public company has completed. Now with the help of next video we will discuss the remaining chapter